Hello again, this geometry video is about congruent triangles. And this first slide, we have our definition of congruent triangles, which says this: all pairs of corresponding parts are congruent. I've constructed these two triangles so that all corresponding parts will be congruent. No matter how I adjust or drag, the other will be the exact match. And this is how we would use notations to make congruent statements for corresponding parts. Remember, the order matters. So in this statement, AB congruent to DE says that point A has to correspond with point D, and point B has to correspond with point E. All pairs of corresponding parts are congruent. Now, all the proofs we have done up to this point to prove triangles congruent, those proofs have to show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different steps before we can say these triangles are congruent. What we're going to do now is learn some shortcuts. The first one is the side angle side shortcut. So here's what we're given: that we have a side and a matching partner that are the exact same measure and they have the same congruence mark. We're given an angle, and this is called the included angle because it locks two given sides in place. So no matter how I try to drag and move this around, or this one, this angle between the two sides is fixed. So what we're given is 1, 2, 3 congruent parts. Instead of needing all 6 congruent parts, these 3 alone will guarantee that if I closed each of the given figures into a triangle, this side will have to be the same measure as this side, my 3 marked sides, as will the remaining angles. So what we have now is a shortcut. If we want to prove that two triangles are congruent, we can just find side, angle, side. And that will guarantee that the two triangles are congruent. The other shortcut we're going to learn about is called side, side, side. And here again I have constructed two triangles that have 3 congruent sides no matter how I adjust them, and I can also demonstrate that by dragging triangle onto the other. No matter how I change this, we can see that the sides will be congruent. There we go again, congruent triangles. Now we can see that these are variable, they're changing and the angles are changing, but if I show the angle marks, we can see that no matter how I move and change the 3 sides, as long as the sides are congruent to each other, the angles will also be congruent. So again, instead of having to prove 6 congruent statements in order to say the triangles are congruent, we can use these 3 that we have a side, angle, side, or we can use these 3 that say as long as I have 1, 2, 3 pairs of corresponding sides congruent, then the triangles will also be congruent. Thanks for watching. Keep practicing.